right, everybody. Di is going to be right back, but we are the Tailgate Kings, and we are here with a very special episode. There we go, the Tailgate Kings.
There
We
we
are
go. It popped off
here.
for a second, and it's going to pop off eventually.
Yeah. Speaking of popping off, this weekend WrestleMania is popping off. Di, 2 full-length featured nights. You were saying, I think there's
two
yeah,
nights, dude. Like
yeah,
you said, get your popcorn ready, get your grill ready, get your food ready. Hang out because this is going to be. I mean, looking at the matches, man. 7 matches on the first night, 6 on the second night. We got The Rock coming back.
Yeah.
This is going to be huge, and I mean, it starts with a banger, dude.
Yeah.
Probably maybe my favorite match of the night. Or maybe I think I'd want this one personally to wait. Just because I like to build to it, build to my Rhea,
Yeah,
But,
your Rhea, yeah.
Rhea.
They did this for you, Di, so that way they can make sure that you're awake for it.
Yeah,
they don't want to go
sure
all the way to the night. Yeah, they don't want to go all the way
sure
to the night.
I'm not coming in late. You want to be there from the beginning because sometimes at WrestleMania you can sometimes miss the opening ceremonies in a sense.
Yeah, sometimes you can. You don't have to necessarily. You get to. There's so much to choose from. You can watch what you want. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, dude. And we're gonna have an even busier weekend because we have CypherCon locally here this weekend in town. So I'm gonna be there for that.
I'd be there early and then at WrestleMania night. So.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Go in the early afternoon for that. We'll probably go have lunch there because they have some great food trucks every year. But my favorite part about CypherCon as a whole, honestly, is shopping. I go to all the vendors, bro. I find so much cool stuff. Some of the cool stuff I found is back here. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And then for 2 nights in a row, Mania. And my son's getting a little older and a little more interested every time he sees it on the TV. So fingers crossed, one of these years he's gonna sit down, be like, "Hey, let me go sit with Dad." But he was really sick today, unfortunately. So hopefully this weekend he'll shake back. So, but yeah, dude, Rhea Ripley defending that women's World Heavyweight Championship against the woman that WWE has kept her away from for a full year, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, the man, is getting another title shot at Mania, and this is probably, when I look at the card up and down, when it comes to actual wrestling, this might be match of the weekend. Honestly, and it's the first match
from the start. Yeah, open it up with this. Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy because this match was like heavily criticized for a while because they didn't really feel like the build was proper for the match, and that's fair. We had Becky Lynch feuding with Nia Jax as of like a month ago. So it felt a little rushed towards the end, which was the exact opposite last year for Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair because there was zero build. There was no build at all. Like Rhea Ripley won the Rumble, and then it was just understood that she was facing Charlotte Flair, and that was the build. There was nothing, but it ended up being one of the best matches of the weekend. So that's exactly what could happen here, and I know your Rhea is very excited that you'll be watching. So. You're basically Dominic Mysterio, Di.
No, dude. I know how to wrestle. But this is going to be a brutal match, dude. I feel like it's going to be brutal. I mean, Rhea takes it because I don't think they're going to, I don't think they're going to have her give up the belt. But I think it's going to be a brutal match to open. Like you said, it's going to be probably technically one of the best matches, and then just back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean.
I'm also going Rhea to retain. I just don't think that. So personally, based on the way that the story has gone towards the end, because Rhea Ripley brought up Becky and Seth's daughter recently in the story, and that kind of like flipped the switch for Becky and kind of gave her this new like, I'm a mother, don't talk about my kid, energy. And there's this really big feeling that she's just gonna go off for a few months, after WrestleMania. And then come back closer to SummerSlam and probably build another big program. And then with Rhea, there's just so many people she has left to face to defend this title against. And she's already been a workhorse of a champion. So I think that Rhea needs to keep it. And I don't know exactly what we work towards for in terms of her next build, but there's a few people there. Like we could see her and Liv Morgan. They have a lot of history that they've been teasing all year. She and Liv were a team before Rhea turned on her and started this kind of new persona that she's now found that's made her a superstar. And so her and Liv have a lot of history. Liv returning from injury recently, and it's just like it's a perfect dynamic. I hope we see it happen. But yeah, Rhea Ripley across the board for both of us.
All right. The next match is I mean,
It's a lot.
it's a lot, right? I mean, Gunther, Sami Zayn. Are they finally going to take the title away from Gunther? Is this the match that does it, Casey?
Oh man, I see. I've gone back and forth because Sammy wasn't really supposed to be in this match. Like it was supposed to be Chad Gable. At least that's what we all
Right,
thought. They
right.
really pushed that Chad Gable was going to be the guy. He was the only one in the tournament leading up to this match that was really getting the hype that he was getting, and the fans were behind it. And I really thought that with the way that it was that the way that WWE has been booked lately, that they were just going to give Chad the green light and let him go and end that this historic reign, because Gunther is not only the longest reigning like singular champion
Yeah,
for
right.
in terms of
Yeah.
intercontinental history, but like total all time reign like days accumulated completely. He has shattered the record, and
Okay.
so I really thought that Gable was going to be the guy, but I don't know, man. I kind of feel like we are working towards are really pushing towards a Gunther and Seth match eventually. And I feel like that would have to be for a title, but we have to talk about Seth more later. But yeah, dude, I think that Gunther is probably going to lose it here. I think that Sammy is going to take it. And as much as I wish it was Chad, I think that this is going to, because it's in Philly, right? Right now Chad is coaching up Sami Zayn, and I have a
Right.
huge feeling we're gonna get a Rocky type hype package right before the match, and it's gonna be like Sami Zayn going up the steps and making it to the top, and he's gonna come in and he's gonna Rocky, uh, which leads me to think that maybe he should lose, but I don't know. I think Sammy's gonna win, and then we eventually get Sammy and Chad Gable down the road, and that match would be crazy, crazy. But
Yeah. See, that's kind of where I'm thinking it might go. I think Gable comes in there, does something stupid, causes Sammy to lose, right? And and then we're going to see, like you said, we're going to see them, go at it eventually. And Gunther retains the title, maybe like you said, to lose it to Seth Rollins or whatever. So
yeah, and now that I think about it, I'm gonna stick with my pick because I said Sammy, but I'm second guessing, and I could easily see Gunther winning it.
I mean, that's why I'm
Um,
not sure. This one, I'm not sure about. I'm really not.
yeah,
And what like a difference in styles when it comes to wrestling too, right? With these two guys, I
yeah,
mean, this is going to be an interesting stylistic match of like, how is it going to work? Sammy's going to be throwing himself all over the place, and Gunther's just going to be picking him up and catching him. I mean,
dude,
how's this
I
going to work?
guarantee you're gonna see when because I'm sure we'll be talking back and forth as we're watching, but you'll see Sammy is one of the best in the business when it comes to not only just like selling for his the person he's in the ring with, but against bigger guys. Like you're gonna see the way that Sammy takes some of these bumps and the pain that he expresses on his face. It's gonna make Gunther look absolutely amazing, and then all the more reason for him to make this huge comeback and finally topple Gunther. And regardless of if Sammy wins or loses, pay attention to the crowd during that match, Die, because that's probably going to be one of the loudest the crowd is going to be, like during the whole night, because Sammy is just like so incredibly over with the crowd, has been for a long
Right, right.
time.
Oh yeah. No, he's a huge crowd favorite. No, yeah,
Yeah, so and it kind of even crazier redemption story for Sammy, because 2 years ago at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas, he was in a like a I don't exactly remember the name, but it was against Johnny Knoxville from Jackass. He was in like a no disqualification fight against him, and it was all like slapstick comedy. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was one of the most enjoyable matches on the whole weekend. Like Sammy has just consistently proven to make it work and do what he can with what he has. And then he transitioned all that into the Bloodline storyline to where it was now him and Kevin Owens, his best friend for 20 years. They faced each other at WrestleMania, and now they're teaming together at WrestleMania against the Usos, probably the best tag team ever. And they win in the main event of WrestleMania night one. And now, a year later, he was lost, had no way to get to Mania, and then works through this whole tournament, including Chad Gable, who was probably the favorite. And now he's facing off against the longest reigning and the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, again at WrestleMania. It's like his redemption story is just crazy, dude. It's hard not to root for him.
Right. No, I'm 50-50. Like I said, this hard match for me to pick.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, but the Gable thing it feels like something's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but there's going to be some sort of shenanigans, either helping to beat Gunther or screwing it up and losing to Gunther. And it's not like Gunther's like. I don't know. Is he well liked? Because I like him. I think Gunther's fun. I don't think he's like the greatest, but I think he's fun as a champion.
No, Gunther overall by the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community. I hate using that term because it's so negatively associated with like wrestling fandom. But on like in terms of like internet, yeah, he is loved. Actually, he's probably like he's obviously a bad guy, so he gets booed. But in terms of like, if you were to ask even a casual wrestling fan, like who's your favorite wrestler to watch, I could say a large portion of them would probably have him bare minimum top 5. So like, he's
like
he's
a
pretty
Bond
great.
Villain. He's like a Bond villain. He's like a real life Bond villain.
Bro, have you seen his like how in shape he got? Have you seen what he used to look like?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Dude, like he used to be a bigger guy, and then whenever WWE was like, "Hey, look, we would really love for you to get into shape, and we would love to do some great stuff with you," he not only got into shape, he got into the best shape of his life, and looks better than 90% of the roster. And dude, he feels like I think him and Cody Rhodes are like the perfect encapsulation of like old school wrestling. He feels like a genuine bad guy, and he's foreign, right? He's a foreign bad guy who doesn't pride himself on his like his homeland. He prides himself on the fact that he is just better than you, and he is going to out wrestle you, and then he's going to beat you up. Like he's just such a good bag. And then Cody Rhodes, right? Cody Rhodes is like, I'm gonna kiss the babies and I'm gonna sign all the autographs and like I'm gonna overcome the bad guy, and he's his dad all over again. So it's like, yeah, dude, Gunther is the real deal. The only reason I'm picking Sammy is because I think it's time for Gunther to move up to that next step.
That's the only thing, it feels like he's had this belt forever. He's got to lose it.
He has.
Yeah,
he's had the belt for I think he's had it for almost 700 days. So it's like it's WWE is in their historic reign run right now. That is their thing. They love their historic reigns right now. And there's a big rumor that if Drew is to take the title away from Seth this weekend, that there's a pay-per-view further down the line in Scotland where Drew is from. And the rumor is that Drew would be defending the title against Gunther there. And oh my God, I would pay the full pay-per-view price just to see that match alone. Like that match would be crazy. But yeah, so in order to get there, I think that Gunther has to lose.
All right. Next up, dude, I don't even know where to start. Six tag team, huge brawls.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll let you just manhandle this one because this is a lot.
All right, so we have a tag team championship 6-pack ladder match, right? So we have the champions, Judgment Day versus New Day, DIY, New Catch Republic, A-Town, Down Under, and the Awesome Truth. Now, there's some interesting stuff happening behind this match, right? That behind the scenes, that a lot of people, there's a lot of rumor, a lot of speculation, a lot of innuendo. Nothing confirmed yet, but the way that they're wording certain things makes us think that there's going to be something interesting. So the tag titles have been held by the Judgment Day for a while now. It happened a few years back when the Usos, who were the SmackDown champions, were told by Roman Reigns, you need to go get the Raw titles too, or you're getting kicked out of the group. So they went and took down Rated RK Bro. It was Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. They defeated them to take both the tag titles. And since then, they've been passed around as group titles. And now Judgment Day has held both of those titles basically at ransom for a long time now. They lost them for 4 days to Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, and then won them back immediately. It was weird. I don't know, but so now the way that the management has come out and worded it, they've said the match will end when both sets of titles have been taken down. So the thought process that a lot of the fandom is going with is that one team is going to take down one title, one team is going to take down another title, and we're going to split the tag titles.
In a while. Yeah,
and it's needed. We need it. The tag team division is so deep, not only between Raw and SmackDown, but also NXT, because NXT has a pay-per-view this week, or a PLE this weekend as well, and this is their biggest PLE of the year too. So with their big PLEs, guys and gals and people move up. Like they come up to those rosters. So rosters are just getting more and more stacked every day. And the tag division is so stacked right now. As you can see, they put 6 teams in here, and there's probably another 6 to 10 that should be on TV. So there's a lot. It needs it. Now, the thought behind this is who gets these titles. Like who are the 2 teams, because we can go and assume that 2 teams are going to win. So who are the 2 teams that I think or we think need to win? There's another layer here too, because Matt Hardy, you remember the Hardy Boys? Mm-hmm. There's a huge rumor that they're coming back in this match. And they've done this before at WrestleMania 33. You remember that Mania I told you about?
Team last minute or something, or
that's the thought. Yeah, okay. I don't know if they make it like a 7 team or if they just take the place of a team that's in the match already, but there's rumors that they're going to show up, so we have to take that into account too. But if I'm really looking at it, who has the most history with Judgment Day is Awesome Truth. R-Truth and The Miz, formerly a tag team about I don't know, almost 15 years ago, and they've kind of rekindled this tag team because R-Truth was trying to be in the Judgment Day, and then the Judgment Day just kept beating him up. And then The Miz came to his defense, and they kind of, joined together. So they're back together. Twist My Arm, I think they're going to be the team that takes down the Raw tag titles. Okay. I think that the work that R-Truth has done over this last half year has earned him that title run. And I think that The Miz is just perennially one of the best to ever do it. Mm-hmm. And I think that any time that they want to put a title on The Miz, I don't know any people that really argue, because he can carry a title run. And so I think they take down that Raw brand. So now the question is who takes down the SmackDown tag titles? So if we're talking about the brand split, the 3 teams that are on SmackDown are New Catch Republic, A-Town Down Under, and actually they're the only 2 teams. I was thinking New Day, but New Day's on Raw. So I would probably boil it down to those 2 teams, New Catch Republic and A-Town Down Under, which is Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. The rumor is that Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are going to be removed from the match somehow. And that is the rumor where the Hardy Boys come in. So it's, do the Hardy Boys take that spot? If the Hardy Boys take that spot, I don't think they win the titles. So that leaves me with the New Catch Republic. New Catch Republic is Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, longtime rivals and friends, long time. And they have become a tag team on the main roster now, finally getting a shot. Tyler Bate is young, dude. His finisher is called Tyler Driver 97 because that's the year he was born. He was born in 1997. That's crazy. And he was winning world titles for WWE at 20 and 21 years old. And so they have taken the tag team division by storm. They got a tag title shot at Elimination Chamber in Australia. Came up short, but I think it's probably their time to shine now and run with those tag titles on SmackDown. And I think I'm going to take New Catch Republic to get the SmackDown titles. And as far as the Hardy Boys showing up, I'm going to say no, I think. Jeff Hardy is still technically under contract with AEW, and Matt Hardy's contract ran up. He's just been trying to convince Tony Khan to let him out of the contract. And with the, butting of heads that's been going on between the 2 companies and their talent, I just don't see that happening. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Cool. I'll be a happy wrestling fan. But it's just really hard for me to see that actually happening.
Like, I'm going to defer to you entirely on the tag team. I got no clue. I got no picks. I'm just going to be entertained. 6 tag teams going at it. I mean, I always love the mass chaos. The Royal Rumble sort of thing. That's my jam. So I'm all for it.
Dude. It's going to be a car wreck, and car wrecks in wrestling are fantastic.
Yeah, and it's always funny. Like, it's like, what? I guess this is not a pin thing, right? Because it's about getting the belts, so it's not going to be like anybody's getting pinned, even. So it's going to be mass chaos.
You're going to see here. Look, I'm going to tell you some stuff to expect. You're going to see a ladder spot. You're going to see somebody probably go through a ladder that's set up between the ring and the apron on the side. Somebody will probably go through one of those. Somebody's going to do a dive off the top of a ladder, 100%. Somebody's going to do a tilt or a spin-a-rooney thing. They're going to put a ladder on their head and just spin and hit a bunch of guys. That's going to happen. That'll probably be R-Truth, actually. What's one more thing? You're going to see a ladder. You're going to see 2 ladders up like this with one in the middle of them for some reason. They always do that. I don't know. There's going to be so much crazy stuff going on.
Right.
But yeah,
car wreck. Fun. But all right, so then next up we got brothers fighting, Uso versus Uso. And we've seen this come. This has been coming for a while.
Yeah, long time. So, long time. Even you as like a super casual wrestling fan, just watching the PLEs every now and then. Even you knew this was coming. Like you knew this was happening.
Yeah, no. So I mean, we're gonna see it, and got a little trivia for you, Casey. Here, I got some for the end of the show, but I'm going to hit you with some trivia right now for this match, technically.
Okay.
All right. So
I asked Di to give me some trivia, so I'm excited for this. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, please.
We'll see if we can get you on any of these or how deep your knowledge is. So this is going to be the 5th brother versus brother match at WrestleMania. Can you name the other 4 times it happened?
The 5th?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know 3 of them. I'm struggling with the 4th.
Well, there might be a reason for that. Give me your 3, and I'll tell you if you're right.
Okay, so the last time it happened that I can remember was WrestleMania 25. That was Matt and Jeff Hardy against each other. WrestleMania 10 was Bret and Owen Hart.
Okay. All right. You got 2 of them. Good.
See, I thought I knew 3, but I was thinking of the Usos. Well, I guess technically it's 5 times, so I know those. But so I'm missing 2? Oh man, you might have stumped me. I don't really.
You're gonna know it's obvious once I say it.
Brother versus brother at WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap! I'm blanking here. Was one of are either of them tag matches?
Nope.
Yeah, you might have stumped me already. Oh man.
I feel like you got the hard one. I think I thought the Hart brothers might have been the hard one because that was going back a little bit. So when I tell you this one, I feel like you're gonna
tell me the WrestleMania.
Oh, I don't know if it's got it there. Let's see.
If not, it's okay.
WrestleMania 15 and 20.
15. Whoa, hold on. 15 and 20. Oh. Is one Kane and Undertaker?
Yeah. It's both.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I forgot about the streak matches.
It's Kane and Undertaker twice. It's the Hart brothers and the Hardy brothers. So that was
I wasn't thinking about it because I wasn't thinking about that because I was thinking like kayfabe brothers. I wasn't thinking about like character wise. That's good. Okay, cool.
So
All right,
there
I
you
got there
go.
eventually. I got there eventually.
I mean, that's why I said once I gave it to you or whatever, I knew you'd be like, oh, duh, So
Yeah.
there you go. Fifth
All
brother
right,
versus
cool.
brother match.
All right,
So who do you
so are we
got?
are we saving?
Which Uso you got?
Ah, man. See, gut. I'm gonna say Jay. I'm going Jay. I think that Jay deserves his comeuppance over his brother. Um, when you look back at what Jimmy has done to Jay, following their, everything that happened between them with their fallout from the bloodline, like Jay was in a bad spot, and or Jimmy was in a bad spot, and Jay was basically like taking Roman's BS to save his brother, right? And then, you know, Jay turns on Roman to save Jimmy, and then they go on and they face Roman and Solo at Money in the Bank, and then Jay is the first person in 2 years to pin Roman. Huge deal. And then at SummerSlam, during Jay's title shot against Roman, Jimmy cost him the match, and it's like, and then when he reveals his reason, like this has been heavily scrutinized since it happened, but when Jimmy revealed his reason as being like, "Oh, I just didn't want you to become like Roman once you won the title," everybody was like, "Oh, yawn! Like, come on, dude, y'all couldn't have come up with something better." Like, "Oh, I just didn't want you to be like him." Oh, come on, dude. Like, whatever. Anyways, so at this point, Jimmy has cost Jay the Universal title, the tag titles, the Intercontinental title, and they fought in the Rumble. So yeah, we saw this coming from a long ways away, and I think that if you're given that feel good moment, because Jay is one of the biggest guys in the company right now. Like when you just wait, dude. Oh my god, I'm thinking about it right now. Actually, his WrestleMania entrance is gonna be nuts. Like the
Huh.
crowd, the way that they move with him, like
Right,
it's gonna be
right,
so
right.
much fun. I'm gonna say Jay. I think Jay deserves the comeuppance here.
All right, all right. I think I'm with you too. Like you said, I mean, everything you said, Jay deserves to get his. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, he's been disrespected and whatnot. I mean, this. Otherwise, why is this match happening? Right? Are you just going to kick
yeah.
Jay further down in a sense? Because I don't know if Jay loses this match. I don't know where you go with the story. You know,
I don't know,
so
man, because Jay's got some acting chops. I can't lie. Like, some of his stuff is a little, could use some work, but, like, who am I to criticize, right? But, like, when it comes to his acting chops, like, I've seen the dude go from this character to this character and, like, really juggle that back and forth. So I could see him going into, like, a deep depressive, like, doesn't really vibe with anybody, wears all black, doesn't really dance with the crowd anymore type Jay. But I just don't think we go there. I think that Jay's taking it.
yeah, no, like I said, I mean,
All right,
it's got to be the job. You know.
so we're only left with three here. I think let's
Three for
go.
the first night, and now it's
Yeah,
another crazy tag match, but with the women. 3-on-3 this time, and
yeah, yeah.
I
And
mean,
what a team! What a team
right?
that Damage Control is matched up against. Like, man, you're talking about. So okay, so we got Damage Control, Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kyrie Sane. Which, hi Kyrie, hi, hello. Um, hi. Damage Control. Their fourth member, Io Sky, of course, defending against their former member, and former leader Bailey on night two. But tomorrow night or Saturday night, sorry, Control going against the makeshift team of basically the closest thing to Superwoman. Times two, and Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, and then one of the most athletic wrestlers we've seen ever in the women's division in Naomi, a former women's champion herself. Um, I feel like this is going to be an absolute squash match. This match is probably going to last about 3 minutes.
Oh,
If I
really?
had to give my best guess, yeah. Yeah, I think that Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade are going to take turns just destroying every member of Damage Control. And the only reason it might go more than 3 minutes is if they're just having fun destroying the other three. Like, I think it's going to be an absolute demolition. I think this is legitimately a match to get all 6 of these amazing and incredibly talented women on the card, give them their WrestleMania payday, and I think that Damage Control is going to play a much bigger role in night 2 in the title match. This match isn't about them. It's about getting Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill, especially Jade Cargill. It's about getting them the momentum they need going forward because Damage Control already has all the momentum they need in the storyline that'll be happening in night 2. This match isn't about them. It's about the baby faces and giving them and making them look incredibly strong, which they are. Like Jade Cargill, this match is her debut match in WWE after she jumped ship from AEW. Like this is the most important match in her career to date. So we have to make it incredible. And then from this, you can go from these 3 being like a makeshift little stable or group or whatever, and then you can eventually have these 3 face off against each other because who doesn't want to see that? Like who doesn't want to see Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill again? Probably the closest thing you're going to see to Wonder Woman, like in real life. Like you're gonna, who doesn't want to see those 2 like butt heads?
No, totally.
Like that could be a SummerSlam match. That could be a SummerSlam main event, to be honest with you. But we'll see what happens because SummerSlam I think is going to be crazy later this year in Ohio. But I'm going Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade here, and I don't think it's going to be that long of a match.
All right. Then we got another tag team match. Lots of tag team matches, I guess, night 1. I didn't realize until we started going over it. But this one, father versus son here. A little Ray versus Dirty Dom. What? I mean, look, sell this. I mean, look, I feel like somehow Dirty Dom's going to win because that's just how they're rolling with it right now, right? I mean, they keep giving the kid everything they need, and what they're building up to eventually, I guess, an actual one-on-one match between him and Ray, right? That's kind of what
they had a one-on-one match last year. They fought at WrestleMania last year, and Ray won. So they've gone to WrestleMania. Here's the thing, Di. I've scripted this out almost perfectly for a full year now. I've almost written how this is exactly going to happen. And I will say, Di, I know that you pick on Dirty Dom a lot, but you are in the minority. He is heavily loved. Like
that's just
heavily.
Nuts. That's crazy.
Dude, he's a really good wrestler.
He's not.
He is. I promise.
Or he's really good at looking really bad. Then, like
that's what I'm saying. His character is he's a chicken heel. Like he's supposed to be the like, oh please don't hurt me, and then like try to get you. Like that's his thing. But like if you go back and you watch,
like if it came down to it, and he had to like he can do the moves.
Yeah,
See,
I
thought he was just like one of those guys. I mean, back in the day, when I was watching, first when I was a kid, you'd have like Ted DiBiase's like little like stooge on the side, and that's who Dirty Dom reminds me of, like the little stooge who can't wrestle. He's just like,
yeah,
he's gonna like pull out the wrench and be like, here, take a wrench, or here, take the brass knuckles.
I'm telling you, man. Like, I mean, look at who his dad is. His dad's a Hall of Famer. And,
I mean,
yeah, and he's got it, in his blood, and he just doesn't like. That's just sometimes in your wrestling career. Sometimes you have a wrestling character that doesn't wrestle like as well as you could. It doesn't.
I get it.
Yeah, like
I just didn't realize he could actually wrestle. So you telling me that makes me feel a little bit better about the whole thing. I guess then I'm waiting for the WWE to give him the Gunther call and be like, hey man, go get in shape.
Yeah, see, I think the thing is because he's also still really young.
Oh yeah.
And he's I think that if you go back, and I'll give you some tape to go watch, but if you watch his, like he made his debut at SummerSlam against Seth Rollins a few years back, like that was crazy, and that alone should show like the blessing. And he wasn't even super great in the debut, like you could see where the room for improvement was, but he was really good already. And then he and Ray went on this tag title run together where they won at WrestleMania and they were tag champs walking out of WrestleMania. So they have not only wrestled together but won together at WrestleMania. Then they faced each other last year, so they're they've got one match against, one match with, and now this is going to be the match that I think sets up the future for the rest of their rivalry until Rey is done.
All right, so you said
Um,
you scripted it. So who wins this match and why then, Casey?
Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio win this match.
Oh,
And I think it's
really?
actually
All
I think
right,
it's actually
fair.
pretty so, and there's a big reason for that, because there was, so with the new introduction of Triple H and TKO taking over WWE, they've also changed their production style, and there's a lot more like cinematic small things that, like, I think you would definitely notice, Ty. But there was this one moment. Do you know who Carlito is? Do you remember him?
Yeah, yeah.
So Carlito came back to all this pomp and circumstance, and then kind of got shoved to the back of the line, and hasn't really felt the love from LWO, from Latino World Order. And then this past SmackDown that just happened last week, Ray was out with LWO, and they were confronting Santos Escobar and his group, and Dominic had kind of inserted himself and was helping Santos Escobar in their group. And Ray was like, I'm going to face you and you at WrestleMania, and I'm going to face you with the newest member of the LWO, which you would assume would be Carlito. And then he introduces Dragon Lee as the newest member of LWO, and now Dragon Lee is his tag team partner. And when that happened, you could see the shift in Carlito's face. And it's pretty also, it's heavily and widely believed among the wrestling community right now that Carlito is going to cost Ray the match, and he's going to turn heel. And
Oh, wow.
he might not necessarily go side with the other side, but
Like
he's
he's going
just
to
going
turn
to
heel after the match, or he's going to turn heel in the match.
either way. Honestly, I think that Santos and Dominic win regardless,
Right,
but
right,
I
right.
wouldn't be surprised if it's during the match, and if it's not during the match, it's definitely happening after. Like, I could see that being the catalyst, right? Ray and Dragon Lee go out there and wrestle a really good match, but still end up losing, and now Carlito's pissed because he's like, well, if you chose me, we would have won. And I've been with you this whole time, and I've had your back. And when you were hurt,
All
I
right, so
carried
you
the
think,
weight.
yeah, yeah. So you don't think he's going to come out there and be like, screwing stuff up? It'll be after the match yelling at Ray, like in the locker room sort of thing. You think we're going to get some of that behind the scenes sort of thing?
I don't even think it'll be behind the scenes. I think it'll be out in front of everybody in the middle of the ring. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Santos and Dominic win. Maybe they cheat somehow, and Dominic gets a roll up on Ray, and gets the quick win, and then they just kind of scurry on out of there because they're trying to get away because they got a cheap win. And then Ray's in the middle of the ring, and he's like frustrated and whatever. Carlito comes in, and he's just like, Carlito's frustrated, and Ray tries to talk to him, and Carlito's like, man, I'm not trying to hear that, basically. And then Ray like kind of forces him, like, hey, what's up? And then Carlito probably will turn on him there. And I think it'll probably be something along those lines. People have been begging Carlito to turn, so it's
Oh,
about time.
all right, all right.
Yeah.
And then night one, Saturday night, wraps up with another interesting tag match here. Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in a match that will determine how the championship match is done tomorrow or Sunday night. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's. I mean, have they done something like this before, where they have a match like the night before with the two guys who were in the match, in a sense? Like, I
So
mean,
I don't know if anything exactly like this. They've done stuff like this, like WrestleMania 30, right? WrestleMania 30 was the story of Daniel Bryan. That was in New Orleans, probably one of the better WrestleManias ever, and definitely one of the better moments at the end. But he opened the match against Triple H. So long story short, Daniel Bryan had this whole storyline against the Authority, and the fans basically like forced their way into having Daniel Bryan finally get a title match at WrestleMania. But in order to do it, he had to beat Triple H in the opening match of the night. And if the winner of that match got added to the WrestleMania main event later on in the night for the titles. And now a cool extra added layer that they added to that match was, most people would probably think like, oh, well, Daniel Bryan's obviously going to win. But when you look at the two people who were in the main event, it was Randy Orton and it was Batista, who were former stablemates in Evolution with Triple H. So it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that Triple H could win that, and then we go on and we have a triple threat match of all the members of Evolution for the championship in the main event.
Right.
Now, the crowd would have torn that up. They would have absolutely crapped on the rest of the show if that were the outcome. But luckily, cooler heads prevailed. Daniel Bryan came out on top in what I would personally say is probably the best opening match in WrestleMania history. It was that good. Like, the wrestling was cool, and like there were some like really sneaky technical moves in there that Triple H wasn't really well known for, but it was the dynamic with Stephanie McMahon at ringside and just how bad the crowd wanted Daniel Bryan to win. Like, that's going to be on our watch along. I'm going to make you watch WrestleMania 30 with me because it was pretty good. And then Daniel Bryan went on to the main event and won, and he won the whole thing. And it was just crazy, like Cinderella story crazy.
Well, but still, he said Daniel Bryan didn't face the guy that he faced like the first match.
No.
The fact that you've got Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes in the ring together for a match that it's like a two-parter. Like, this is like a prequel to Sunday night. You know, it's kind of crazy. And then and the fact that if Cody and Seth win, the Bloodline can't be out there to watch or something like that.
Yeah, barred from ringside.
But if Roman Reigns and The Rock win, then it's anything goes.
Yeah, Bloodline rules. Bloodline rules. Yeah, that's The Rock has been shouting Bloodline rules so much that, spoiler alert here, I'm going to jump to the result for you. The Bloodline's winning here. Rock and Roman are going to win this match. Yeah.
No, I think there's no way. Yeah, there's no way that Roman Reigns and The Rock lose this one.
Yeah, the only way that I could see it happening is because The Rock has been using his position on the TKO board with his character, with his on-screen character. And he's even told Seth Rollins, like, I can make that title disappear if I wanted to. And Roman has even referenced the Thanos snap. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've referenced that a lot here. And so they're saying, like, I can make this disappear if I wanted to. Like, and that's what Rock has been saying. So I wouldn't be surprised if even somehow Cody and Seth pull this match out and win, which I not only think they're losing, but I think Cody is taking the pin, to be honest with you. I not only think they're losing, but if they do win, I wouldn't be surprised if Rock's like, basically like, I don't care. I don't care if you guys won. With my authority, I'm still making it Bloodline rules. And that would just get even more heat on him. The crowd would absolutely go nuclear, dude. And so even if that's the result, I think that's where Triple H is going to get involved again. He's gotten involved once or twice in this story, and him and Rock have kind of butted heads. Unfortunately, wrestling speak, whenever an authority figure who used to be a wrestler starts beefing with a wrestler, typically that means they're going to wrestle at some point.
Oh, yeah.
But Hunter, Triple H, Paul, he had heart surgery, and he is no longer able to wrestle. He's completely retired.
Can't do it at all, huh?
Yeah, at all.
Isn't he married to Stephanie?
Yeah, he and Stephanie McMahon. Yeah,
like in real life. That's not kayfabe. That's real or whatever.
Yeah, no, so that is kayfabe. Yeah, that's for real. But they did have an on-screen relationship like a few times. But yeah, no, they're married in real life. I think they have 2 daughters.
I mean, she should step up and wrestle in his place.
Hey, that's not a crazy idea. I do think that eventually we're going to see something down the line, which I'll get to later, but at SummerSlam. But I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H steps in and is like, I don't care what you say, Rock. They won, so Bloodline is barred, which doesn't really mean much because they've been barred from ringside before and still showed up when the ref got knocked out.
I feel like that could be the one reason that Cody and Seth win is because even if they bar them, that creates the drama when they break the bar. So
1,000,000%. But yeah, I think it's going to be so I think it's going to be Roman and Rock winning. And I think the large part of the storytelling for this match is going to be Cody getting some comeuppance on The Rock, because The Rock has been absolutely brutalizing Cody over the last few weeks. Like, I don't know if you saw that shot from Raw a few weeks ago. Yeah, with the, oh God, it was crazy. He's brought Cody's mom into the storyline. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of this is like Cody beating up on The Rock, Cody might even take it too far and get disqualified. That's a thought too. That's a way to make everybody look strong. Nobody takes a pin, nobody loses, and Cody is just so like bent on revenge on this guy that he just absolutely snaps and can't stop and then gets disqualified. That could happen too. I haven't really thought about that until just now, but there's so many layers. Regardless, I think Cody and Seth win.
How excited do you think the crowd's going to be to see The Rock wrestling? Have people been wanting, as like what do you call it, the internet, the wrestling internet community or whatever? Have they been clamoring for The Rock to come back, or is this, or is he, what's the thoughts on The Rock?
Well, I think that people are definitely excited. I think that whenever he initially came back, there was that heavy resentment because he was taking Cody's place, and nobody wanted that.
Right.
Everyone wants Cody to at least get this shot. Most would say they want him to win, but no, I think people will be very excited. I think people who are coming back to the product just to watch The Rock, they're like, oh my God, I heard The Rock is back. I got to see The Rock. Like, I'm just a casual fan, and I've been gone for 5 years, but The Rock will bring me back. I think they're going to be surprised to see him wrestle a different style. This is a Rock that's on the other side of 50. So
yeah, no, that's the other thing. How much can I mean, we know The Rock's in incredible shape, but that doesn't mean that he's in great wrestling shape.
Yeah, exactly.
Great,
totally different
action figure movie shape or whatever.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing is with Rock is one of the things that he has been not criticized on, because you can't help it, but almost every time he's wrestled, like the last few times he's wrestled, he gets hurt in some capacity. Like both times he wrestled John Cena at WrestleMania, because they wrestled in back-to-back Manias against each other. I think it was 28 and 29. They wrestled against each other, and he tore a pec in one, and then tore an abdominal muscle in the other one. So it's like, dude just can't wrestle without getting hurt. So I think you're going to see him wrestle a style that's very like brawler-esque, like really, really like, it's funny because he goes by the moniker of the Final Boss now. He's going to wrestle like very Final Boss in a movie style. He's going to be the one that gives you a really heavy hit and then trash talks you for a good 30 seconds. Hits you a few more heavy times.
A lot of chokeholds or something, or something like
that. Think at the end of Iron Man with Tony Stark going up against that guy who had taken over the big suit. You know who I'm talking about? You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's gonna be like, oh, it's bloodline rules, blah 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 blah. Big kick, big. You stay down, boy. Whatever he says, it's gonna be a lot of that, and it's gonna be, if you watch Roman wrestle, because Roman is he's younger than The Rock, so he's a little more active, I'm assuming. But if you watch Roman wrestle, it's going to be a lot of what Roman does. It's going to be a lot of big moves. It's going to be a few holds. It's going to be a lot of trash talking until the baby faces get their big spark and they get their comeback, and all of a sudden the bad guys have to play a little defense. It's going to be a really fun match. I'm just excited to see how they end it. Exactly what's going to happen.
Right, but I'm with you. I think The Rock and Roman Reigns take it, and it's going to be Bloodline rules. For Sunday night. Bloodline rules. So that's Saturday, man. That's a full Saturday right there.
Yeah, we're only half done.
Yeah, we're only halfway through. So I guess we better keep on rolling right on through. And talking about Seth Rollins, he closes the night Saturday night and then opens the night Sunday night against Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship of the world.
I think this is perfect. I think this is the perfect match to open, to be honest with you.
No, it's another banger to open the night, in a sense. Like I said, they're not slouching. Like I said, just like the Rhea Ripley Becky Lynch to open Saturday. This one,
and you want to talk about maybe one of the greatest power couples in wrestling ever. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch in opening back-to-back title matches at WrestleMania. Like, that might be the first time that a husband and wife have ever done that. That's incredible. So, like, shout out to them. That being said, I think Drew McIntyre's winning it here. I think he's taken the title from Seth. Yeah.
All right.
Seth has been very vocal that this title run has been tough on his body. You know, they brought in the story. You remember the Shinsuke Nakamura storyline, right?
Right,
Just
right.
on the back, on the back, on the
Yeah.
back. And then he of course tears that meniscus, I think it was, right
Yeah, and then it
before the
was on
Royal
the
Rumble.
knee. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And that's the same knee that he's had. I think he tore his ACL in back in like 2015, or I think it was 2015. It was 2015 or 16. He was at a live event and he does like this corner power bomb where he flips over you and then he lands and then he picks you up and power bombs you. And he was doing it to Kane, and when he flipped over, his knee bit in and it just tore the
Ugh.
ACL, completely destroyed it. And he was
That's
like
what you
in
try
a
to get. That's
like
what you get for trying to pick up Kane. You know.
right. You remember how Seth cashed in at WrestleMania 31, the Money in the Bank briefcase. It was the heist of the century, they called it. He was in that title run whenever he got hurt. So he was like top of the company. He was
Right.
holding it down. And he was pretty good. I mean, he got caught in some authority storylines that were kind of lame, but like dude can wrestle, so it ended up being great. Um he even beat John Cena at SummerSlam that year to win the United States title. So he was holding the WWE title and the United States title at the same time. Um, but yeah, dude, I think that not only are they going to play up the injuries finally catching up, but I think that The Rock is going to be pivotal in helping Seth lose this match. Um, and I think that Drew is just due a title match or a title run. A big part of his storyline is that whenever he did win the championship at WrestleMania, it was in front of an empty arena. It was during COVID, and
Right.
Drew really carried the COVID era of WWE. He did. He carried them on his back and had some great matches while doing it. So I think that the guy just deserves to win a championship in front of a live audience, especially at a WrestleMania. So I think not only is it time for Seth to drop because he's had a historic run, he was the first champion to hold this title, but Drew deserves it, and I think that Drew might come into play later. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I got Drew taking it.
I mean, you made a convincing argument. I didn't think about Seth's body as being one of the reasons, but that was a really good point. You know, and like I said, this was one that was kind of like the Gunther Sami Zayn match. I wasn't sure about this one, but I know it's going to be super entertaining. You know, and
Yeah, dude.
And I didn't think about The Rock coming in and maybe influencing it as well, like you said. So those are two things that now you might have me leaning McIntyre as well. So
Well, and the reason I say about The Rock. So first, let me say, it's pretty poetic. Like I said, that both the husband and wife, Becky and Seth, are going to be in back-to-back opening matches, title matches at WrestleMania. But I don't think it's crazy that they both lose and then both take time off to go be with their kid. You know what I mean? So it's like
right.
it kind of makes sense that they both lose, put the people over in a huge way because they're both two of the greatest of all time to do it in their respective fields, and you're putting two people over that deserve that win, and then you can just go sit off to the side for a few months because I think
Yeah, you
Seth.
take a vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can go take 2 or 3 months off. Who cares?
Yeah,
Like you got when
it's beach weather almost right now. So
yeah, exactly.
Go to Hawaii. You know?
Go hang out with your daughter, dude. Like
Yeah.
just yeah. But so I think that when The Rock initially came back and became a bad guy, he told Seth Rollins that he could make that championship disappear with the snap of a finger. And so I think that that's what Rock is going to do. I think that in some way he is going to influence the outcome of this match. And down the road, I think that we're going to get Seth Rollins and The Rock at SummerSlam. I think that is the match they're pushing towards. And then in that match, so I'll have to explain a little bit of that later. But in that match, I think at SummerSlam, I think some other big stuff is going to happen. But I think that we're working towards a Seth Rollins and The Rock match at SummerSlam.
I guess I didn't think that The Rock was going to be so much a figure in wrestling again. I guess I'm kind of surprised.
None of us did. None of us did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
none of us did. He's back for apparently 3 years.
A couple of Hollywood flops, I guess, do that.
Well, and we won't talk too much about it, but he got into some hot water over the wildfires in Hawaii, because he claims Hawaii because most of his family is from there, and that's where his parents met. But I don't know if he was actually born there because I think he was born in Toronto or in Canada at least. Yeah, he
Yeah,
got into some hot water over that.
I didn't know
But
that I didn't know that he didn't donate. I knew that he got like people didn't like him asking for money or something. I didn't know.
yeah. And I might be wrong on the whole like them not donating thing, or maybe they just didn't donate a whole lot, or I don't remember
People
exactly what
just
it
get
was.
pissy about everything these days.
They do. But I think he's winning a lot of people back over with this.
So next up, got the women's championship. Who you got in this one, Casey? Is this one, is this Bailey's time finally? Is that, or is Io Sky gonna retain? I mean, it's Bailey's time, right? This is it. They've been trying to put her over. Like remember at the Rumble, she had a really good showing at the Rumble and whatnot.
Yes, I do think that you're right. I think that it is Bailey's time. I think that it's just one of those, underdog overcome stories again that
Right.
WWE is telling a lot of. I don't know if you saw the shot, but one of my favorite moments of the year so far, excuse me, one of my favorite moments of the year so far is when after Bailey won the Rumble, right, and on SmackDown a few weeks later, she's in the ring with Damage Control, and at this time, they haven't really addressed that Damage Control is kind of like laughing at her behind her back, and she's getting ready to announce who she's going to face at WrestleMania, and they're all just kind of like behind her back, and she turns around and she starts speaking Japanese to them, and oh my bro, when I tell you I lost it, I was legit. I think I might have been like in my kitchen, or like watching it on my phone or something, probably just doing something, and
Right.
I was like, I turned to my phone, I was like, oh my god, she was like blah 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 blah, like perfectly clear Japanese. And she's like, "Yeah, that's right. I learned Japanese so I can know what you guys were saying behind my back." And I was like, "Oh my god!" It was such a badass moment for her. And as someone who has like come up from NXT and like had that like she had that hugger gimmick like way back in the day when she was in NXT when she first came up to transition into the character that she is now, and she's similar to Drew. She carried the WWE Women's Division arguably on her back during the pandemic, and I think that not only her story but Drew's story is a way of WWE really patting them on the back and saying like, "Hey, look, you didn't get your proper you know uh thank you while
Right.
you were champion during that time, so like you deserve this, here you go." And I think honestly I think that Io and Becky, or Bailey, sorry, is probably the most traditional wrestling feud on this entire weekend. Like it's best friend stabs best friend in the back over a championship. And like that's just and now the best friend who
Right.
got
Right.
stabbed in the back is coming to get hers. It's just it just writes itself, and I think that Bailey, yeah, I think Bailey walks away.
It's kind of nuts though. Like after all these titles not changing hands, boom, we got two back to back changing hands. Or
Yeah, yeah.
predicting we've got two back to back changing hands. But yeah, no, like you said, Bailey's put in the work. She's she's probably my second favorite, female wrestler.
She's great, dude.
Yeah, like I mean, her and Rhea, right there, 1 and 2 for me. So
Yeah, a lot of people would probably agree.
I'm really hoping, like I said, that she gets the win. All right, next up is LA Knight and AJ Styles. Just in a match? Is this just a? I'm assuming there's history, but this is not a title bout of any kind. This is just a match. But
Just a match.
both these guys can wrestle.
Yeah,
So
dude.
we
I,
were talking about technical, technical wrestling and whatnot. I think these guys might be one of the more sound matches of WrestleMania.
yeah, and the funny thing is that I think it has potential to be that, but they have quickly built the animosity in this feud up to like a boiling level that I think this is just going to be a brawl, dude. I'm so mad that they didn't make this a street fight. I
All
think
right,
that they did it.
tell me the story. Because I knew there's got to be a story for this match to make WrestleMania. So
Yeah,
what's up with
so
AJ Styles and LA Knight?
All right, so long story short, AJ Styles got taken out by the Bloodline, like last year or whatever, and he was gone for a while. And when he came back, he had this new like darker, kind of like rugged look and demeanor about him, and he eventually got thrown into a fatal 4-way title match at the Royal Rumble. It was Roman defending against Randy Orton, LA Knight, AJ Styles, and the smaller beef within the bigger match of that, or the bigger beef of that match, was that AJ Styles was mad at LA Knight for stepping over his dead body whenever whenever he was hurt.
Did,
He was like, "You stepped
did you
over my
see
dead
that?
body."
Did that?
Yeah, I saw that. It did a little heart. I didn't
Yeah,
even mean to
I
do
was-
that. Oh, that's so cool. I wonder if it's going to come up in the video. I wonder if that's going to come up in the video. That's
my
so
heart
cool.
suck? I guess my heart suck.
Look, there you go. There's a heart right there.
I'm not getting any hearts. So
Oh no, I can't get mine up. We're doing the hearts because I can't explain how much I'm going to love this match. Look at that. I got it again. I don't know, man. We're trying out a new program and we're learning. But no, I think while this has the ability to be a technical match, AJ Styles came back with this new rugged demeanor, and he was mad at LA Knight for stepping over his dead body because LA Knight got 2 title shots, or he got a title shot against Roman at Crown Jewel, I think it was last year. And so AJ was like, you didn't even worry about if I was okay. And LA Knight was like, why would I worry if you're okay? We're not friends. Like, that type of whatever. And so now they've just been fighting for a few months. LA Knight showed up at AJ Styles' home and like fought him in his front yard, type of stuff. I think this is just going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight.
All right.
And I don't think that AJ Styles really needs the win. He's already one of the greatest of all time. He's already one of the, honestly, like, he was already one of the greatest of all time before he even came to WWE, and his WWE run just even more solidified that. So I think that when you're looking at the grand scheme of things, LA Knight needs this win more. And I think that he does win. And I think this is going to set him on the path to maybe go after a title this year.
All right. Look, I mean, I'm curious. The fact that you want this to be a street fight makes me more excited to watch it, But I'm with you. I think LA Knight wins just because, what, like you said, AJ Styles doesn't need to win, LA Knight does kind of, in a sense. He's still, newish. I know he's been around for a while, but he's not no AJ Styles established guy. So
yeah, no, I mean, he's been in the business for a long time and done some great stuff, but in terms of the WWE landscape and at least this level that they're both on, yeah, LA Knight is still, he's only been at this stage of this WWE like level for like 2 years maybe. So yeah, I mean, just in terms of WWE, AJ's been here for 8 years already, which is kind of crazy to think that AJ Styles has already been in WWE for 8 years. It's nuts.
All right, next up we got the triple threat match for the United States Championship with
your
Logan
favorite
Paul. Logan Paul, the Paul brother I like, I guess, maybe, or something.
Yeah, I think that's what we all say about him.
Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. The other one, I can't wait to see get knocked out by Mike Tyson or whatever. So
same.
But Logan so far, didn't Logan get hurt? Am I making that up, or was that real or not? I
don't think he's hurt. So if you saw something, it was probably just a work or something. Yeah.
I thought the last time I watched him, I thought he was coming off an injury or something, but maybe it just looked bad, So, is there a reason Logan Paul doesn't win this? He's got to be like the golden boy right now in some ways for WWE, right? Like an unexpected guy that comes out and can put on a pretty good show, right?
Yeah, a guy that made the transition into the world of wrestling and respected it from the jump, learned properly. He's got the money, right? He could learn from whoever he wants. He could buy the highest quality stuff. He can do the diets, and not only to respect it, but also be really good at it. Like, he's really good. Yeah,
and he looks fearless, in some ways. Like he does the moves, like he does the high fly and stuff. So
That's his whole shtick. He is genuinely like, he's the I want to go viral guy. He wants his name attached to the craziest stuff, and it works. And obviously, it's working well enough that WWE felt that they had enough trust in him to give him one of the most prestigious titles in wrestling. Like a lot of people are just kind of glossing over the fact, like, oh, it's just the United States title. It's like, if you know wrestling, you know who's held that United States title and the lineage of it, and like sure, there have been some names on it that are like, oh, maybe they shouldn't have won it, or whatever, whatever. But not only has Logan exceeded that, but he has shown everybody like, nah, I'm actually pretty good at this, and like, I probably do deserve to hold this title. So with that being said, I do think he wins. I think he retains, and the glowing opinion online is that Kevin Owens is going to eat the pin here. Um, the rumor is that the money match that they're working towards is Logan Paul defending this title against Randy Orton at SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is going to be in Ohio, where Logan Paul is from. So Logan Paul made the announcement for SummerSlam like on his podcast. So they're gonna give him a big match. I don't think they're gonna put him, because they've already put him in a world title match before. I don't think they're gonna put him in another world title match. But the one against, I'm assuming, is going to be Randy at SummerSlam, will probably have a stipulation attached to it. I wouldn't be mad if it was like a last man standing or something like that, or even a steel cage or Hell in a Cell. Those would all be fun. But yeah, I think that Logan Paul is winning this. I think that he's going to eat a crazy RKO at some point in the match. And I think that Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, who have had a little friendship over the last few weeks, I think that's imploding. I think one of them is going to turn on each other and try to, probably Kevin. Kevin's probably going to turn on Randy, but yeah, I think Logan Paul wins this, and I think that most people would probably agree.
yeah, no, I think like I said, I think he does. I mean, WWE's got to keep, like I said, they're riding him. Like I said, in and I'm trying to envision this match though, like how this match is going to work, because now we're talking about guys like who have differing styles, right? I mean, we'll see how I'm not sure how the flow of this match is going to go. I'm curious, I'm curious to see how the flow
Well,
of the match goes.
the important thing to note that a lot of people probably won't remember is multi-man matches like this are no disqualification and no count out.
Right,
So they've got a lot of freedom to like have two guys have a big sequence where one guy takes a big move and then gets to roll out and rest for 5 minutes. And then the other two guys have a big moment, and then one guy from the first sequence takes a hit and then he rolls out for 5 minutes. And then they
right,
all recover and they
and
have a
then
sequence of like 3 minutes where they're all fighting.
yeah, and then Logan Paul jumps and lands on both of them, and they're all just laying there for 5 minutes. Like, who's going to roll over to get the pin? So,
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Logan uses he's been using the brass knuckles a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if he uses the brass knuckles to win. I wouldn't be
uh,
surprised if Austin Theory and Grayson Waller also get involved, because they're in a little partnership with Logan. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get involved too. Yeah, but yeah,
all
give
right.
me Logan
So,
Paul.
yeah, no, like I said, give me Logan Paul as well. All right, then now we have the Philadelphia Street Fight 6-man tag team. You know, yet again, tell me about this one, because I am not up on all the tag teams. I did not realize how tag team heavy
Yeah,
WrestleMania was going to be this year. So,
yeah. Triple H loves his tag teams, dude. He's been. I mean, That's where he started, right? That's where he got his big break, was a tag team with Shawn. So he loves his tag teams. But the Final Testament, consisting of Karrion Kross and Authors of Pain, with Scarlett and Paul Ellering, they're just managers. And then against the Pride, which is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. I mean, look, this match is this feud and this rivalry, like, it's been cool. It's just been drawn out. It just feels like they've been doing the same stuff for a long time, and it's like, all right, how much of this are we gonna do? So I get adding the street fight label to it, but the thing is that LA Knight and AJ Styles was already announced for the card by the time they announced this street fight. So I feel like I would have preferred AJ Styles and LA Knight to be the street fight, and then this to be like you don't necessarily have to make it a street fight, but you can make it what they call a tornado tag, where everybody is just legal and it's just the first person to get the pin, where you don't have to be disqualified, or you don't have to use weapons, you don't have to have no disqualifications on, but a tornado match, everybody can just go, and it could just be like a car crash basically, and it could be a fast, heavy, hard hitting match that people are going to enjoy. That doesn't need to be more than like 7 to 10 minutes, and you're going to get that from the street fight. But I feel like AJ Styles and LA Knight could have benefited more from slapping the label of street fight onto their match. I feel like it would have felt more high profile.
Right.
Yeah. That being said, though, if you really twist my arm, I'd probably say Final Testament to win, just because I feel like they personally need it more. Like Karrion Kross and Authors of Pain are 3 guys that got brought back after being released before the Triple H regime kicked in. So I feel like they have more to benefit and gain, and they're a newer team. And then Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, they're all former champions. It's not that they don't necessarily need this win, because it wouldn't hurt, but in the grand scheme of things, in a street fight, you can't really put too much blame on them for taking a loss in a match that has no rules. So, it doesn't make them look that weak if they were to lose. So with that being said, I'll probably go Final Testament as my pick.
I'm going Bobby Lashley. I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going with the Pride, man. I'm going with the Street Profits. So,
hey, I don't hate the pick.
Yet again, another one that's probably going to be, like you said, a really interesting match. But you said a quick match, right? You feel like this is going to be?
It should be. Yeah,
right.
This should be like the squash match from night 1 with Jade, Naomi, and Bianca. This should be that match. This should be the match that it's like getting people out of their seats to like do what they have to do. But also, if you want to see a street fight, you can stay in your seat. It's no big deal. Go to the bathroom in between matches. I think it's going to be a fun match regardless. It's just that I hope that this is the end of the rivalry between them. I hope that I hope both teams can move on and go in different directions, because I feel like they've done everything.
All right, let's get a little trivia in here again. This is a tag team trivia question. All right, because the New Day's not doing any tag team in this one, right? So, but the New Day
not at night 2, but they are in night 1.
Are they in that 6-man one? I should have had it in that 6-man. Okay, yeah, they are. Okay, so the New Day.
It's okay though.
The New Day have nicknames for each of the pairings. Do you know the nicknames for each pairing?
No, dude, I don't. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. You stumped me with that one. You're gonna have to tell me.
Okay, Xavier.
That's a good question.
Xavier and E are known as the Muscle Bomb. Kofi and Xavier are known as Speed Force.
So that's who's going to be in the match then. It's going to be Speed Force.
Speed Force. And Kofi and E are known as Hops and Power. So
I did know that one. Oh, okay. That's a good question, Di.
They also apparently have different names for their finishers as well. So
that doesn't surprise me, dude.
Kofi and E's version is the Midnight Hour, and
I knew that.
And Woods and E's version is Up Up Down Down. So
Up Down Down is the name of Xavier Woods' YouTube channel, so that makes sense.
There you go. So there's some tag team trivia for you.
Dropping some wrestling knowledge.
All right, before we get to the headliner, can you name the only WrestleMania main event between 2 wrestlers who use their real names?
Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle.
There you go.
Yep.
Good job.
What was that? Was that WrestleMania 19?
It doesn't say for me, but there you go.
I think that was WrestleMania 19.
You knocked that one out of the park. So all right,
let's go.
This brings us to Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Obviously, one of them that's not their real name. Otherwise, I guess this event would count. So, like we've been waiting for this. This has been built up, and obviously, it's going to be built up through WrestleMania, as we already talked about. It'll depend on who won Saturday night, but we're guessing it's going to be Bloodline rules. So, Casey, I'm taking Cody Rhodes though, man. I'm taking Cody Rhodes to beat Roman Reigns. I think this is the end of Roman Reigns' reign.
Yeah, I hate that we're agreeing, but I gotta agree with you. I think that this has got to be Cody's time. Now, I don't think there's a lot of discourse online about if Cody's going to win. I think that most people agree that Cody is probably going to win, even though there is a portion of the fan base that wants Roman to win, so that way he can go on and break Hulk Hogan's record for third place for this title run. But
Right.
I don't think that. So in today's WWE, right, you look at a guy like Gunther, right, breaking these title runs, and Bianca Belair broke a title run record when she was holding it, and WWE loves it when people break records, and I just don't think that they're going to want to brag about a guy getting third place, right? Because it's like if you don't acknowledge it and you just acknowledge the amount of time that he has, the other three reigns have been, passed for so long that almost nobody's going to ask about, well, who held it longer. If you say, oh, he's got the fourth longest reign, they're going to be like, oh, well, who are the three in front of him? But if you say he's held it for 1,400 days, they're going to be like, oh my God, 1,400 days is a long time. They're not going to think about the other three guys. So I just don't think that in a world where it would take Roman another 4.5 years to break the record for the longest title run ever, I don't think that they're going to do it. Roman might not be wrestling for another 4.5 years at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I think that when you look at it, and you look at the benefit of Roman losing it and Roman keeping it, the benefit in the wrestling world of him losing it just far outweighs the benefit of him keeping it. The reign up to this point has been historic and legendary, and it's going to be something like, future generations will talk about, just the same way we're talking about those old title runs. People are going to talk about his title run forever. But I think that when you look at I hate that they've killed the word story, but when you look at Cody's story and you look at, the fact that he left WWE on a whim because he wanted, like, his dad was like, if you don't believe in yourself here, you got to go, and you got to go figure it out, because you're just going to get stuck here. And if you get stuck here, what good are you? And so he went off on his own, made his own name. Like, you can argue that Cody is the catalyst for all the future wrestlers leaving WWE, reinventing themselves, and then coming back and becoming Hall of Famers. Like, that has legitimately happened, and Cody was the first guy that really did that. And I think that he's not only deserving, but I think it's time. I think I love Roman, right? And I've never been a guy that's been overly critical of him, even when he was being heavily criticized. But I think that Roman has done more than enough. And I think now Roman has reached that stratosphere where he doesn't necessarily need the title anymore. Right? He has been established as a guy that is like,
and I think something to, fourth longest reign, but really like the longest modern reign. You know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, of course, like Hulk Hogan held it forever or whatever. That was back, when there were like 20 wrestlers or whatever, and only like 10 of them you could possibly imagine had the charisma and the ability to be champion. Now, in this modern age, I mean, look, we can go down the list, of how many guys have been around forever, should have won it and haven't, and all sorts of things. There probably weren't many wrestlers from the 80s and 90s and definitely before that you were like, oh, that guy should have won the title and he didn't.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's the way we should look at Roman Reigns. Is it's the greatest like modern, wrestling era, reign. So
yeah, he really is like, I compare. It's funny that he's got this reign and this character going at the same time that LeBron is playing, because I compare him to LeBron a lot. He's heavily criticized at the way that he is involved in the business, but when you look at, it's funny how people forget so quickly, but without bringing too much into it, there are a lot of like risks and sickness and illness in the world that are still a real threat to a lot of people that aren't just you and me. Roman Reigns is someone who's in remission from leukemia. Right. He gets heavily criticized in a world where we've faced a huge pandemic within the last half a decade, and it's still really happening in a lot of places. But he gets heavily criticized, like, oh well, guys back in the day were defending the title 687 times, and it's like, yeah, how many of those guys were coked up and not taking care of themselves? Like Roman Reigns is a premier athlete who is in remission from leukemia and is probably one of the better like 180s in wrestling history. Like when you look at what he was from when he first came in to what he is now, and like the cinematic effect that he has, like he's The Rock 2.0. He's gonna go on and do movies just like The Rock did. And so, I mean, and look how long we've been talking about The Rock. Like we're gonna talk about Roman Reigns for a really long time, and you're right. He's the greatest modern era champion ever, and he's probably going to be the greatest champion. He's going to be regarded as the greatest champion for a really long time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's like the biggest question coming out of this match is what happens and where do we go? And I don't think this is going to be a WrestleMania where Cody just wins and then we just go off air with him celebrating and the pyro happening. I don't think that's how it happens.
This is going to be like a bloodletting.
Yeah,
it's going to get ugly. I think
one of two things are going to happen. Yeah, one of two things are going to happen. It's either going to be my camera got all blurry because I had to jump out of the shot. Thank you. Anyways, look, they're trying to not let us talk about it because we know what's going to happen. One of two things I think is going to happen. So I think I also have Cody winning. I think that Cody's going to win, and after Cody wins, it's either going to be The Rock turning on Roman Reigns after the match and really just beating the crap out of him, dude. Like, so much to the point that we're like, oh my God, like, okay, like, we get it. It's really poetic when you think about the way, like, how many times Roman has been betrayed and stabbed in the back. Like, when Seth Rollins broke up the Shield, it was a chair shot to the back. Whenever Roman let his guard down and let Sami Zayn and the group into the bloodline. And when it came time for Sami to whack Kevin Owens with the chair, he betrayed Roman Reigns with a chair shot to the back. Like, and I think it would just be so poetic if after the match, Rock has a chair, and as Roman is standing up, just a huge smack, like the biggest chair shot you've ever seen in your life, to the back of Roman, and he just destroys him with the chair. And after that, Roman goes away for a long time. And that's where I think he plays back into the Rock and Seth Rollins match that I think is going to happen at SummerSlam. I think that's where Roman will probably make his return. SummerSlam is the same place that Roman made his return after disappearing because of COVID and not, putting himself at risk for leukemia, with his, autoimmune deficiency or whatever.
Right.
And whenever he came back, it was at SummerSlam. And so I just don't think it's crazy to see 4 years later, after the lowest moment of his career, arguably, like he's lost his historic title run, his family has turned his back on him, and now he can come back. Dude, tell me he's not going to be the biggest baby face in the whole world, bro. Everybody's going to be cheering for him. Everybody's going to be rooting him on.
I'd want him to come back as like a new character, like he comes back and he's evolved. He's got like a Finn Balor type character, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna murder all you."
I think he's just gonna be like the same Roman, but just like not demeaning to the crowd. I think he's gonna be the type of guy that's like, "I'm doing this for me." It's gonna be like, I don't care what they think. I don't care what these people think. I don't care what any of y'all think. It's literally just me and him. Like the beef it's blood now. It's a blood beef. Like this is family. We're gonna settle it.
Right.
And I think that they're gonna have their match at WrestleMania next year. I think that's one way it could go. Regardless of how it goes after the match immediately, I think that's what we're all working towards is Rock and Roman next year. And like I said, that it kind of feels like Roman doesn't really need the title. That match doesn't need a title at all. Rock and Roman is going to sell out any stadium in the world just by having their name on it.
Right.
Yeah, and so
by that point, yeah, no, for sure.
And so the other way it could go with Cody winning is Damian Priest could cash in. Nobody, people are talking about it.
I was going to ask you, is anybody going to pull the Money in the Bank out, for this? Are we going to see somebody cash in the Money in the Bank at some point?
So there are rumors about what Damian Priest is going to do with the case because he's held it for so long. He's only got 3 months to cash in.
Right.
And you were watching PLEs with me during the summer last year when it was like, oh, is he going to cash in? Is he going to cash in? And then after 3 or 4, we were like, oh, God, here we go. They're going to tease him cashing in again. He's never going to do it. And then we were right. He just never did it. So I think that when it comes to Damian Priest cashing in, there are two different rumors. The rumor is that he might cash in after the Seth and Drew match or during, whatever. Or he might cash in on Cody and he might take that title off of Cody. And if he cashes in during the Seth and Drew match, the rumor is that you've noticed lately that the Judgment Day is kind of giving Damian Priest some looks. You know, like, we don't really like the way you're operating and, doing business. And Damian Priest is supposed to be like the self-appointed leader of their group. But when you go back to War Games, he was the War Games team captain and they lost, And so there's been all these little moments that have made the Judgment Day be like, does this guy really deserve to be, we'll push that out. No, don't worry about it. That's Damian. We're not going to worry about it. So the rumor is a long time ago, Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre had a working relationship. There's a rumor that deep behind the scenes, he and Rhea Ripley have been working together to basically get Priest to cash in the briefcase on purpose just to get him to lose. And then Drew takes over as the leader of Judgment Day, now the World Heavyweight Champion.
Interesting. Wow. Like that would really ratchet up the first match on Sunday then. If Drew ends up winning, beating Seth Rollins, and then, like you said, it's a planned kind of coup. That could be a really interesting storyline. So.
Yeah, dude. Like you could have all of Judgment Day run out, right? And then it's Rhea, it's Dom, it's Finn, it's JD McDonough, and now you got Damian Priest. So JD McDonough is another guy that we haven't talked about who I think might add another layer to this. He's been losing a lot lately, and he's going to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal on SmackDown. So when it comes down to it, I think that when I look at the WrestleMania scale, right, all of Judgment Day is going to be involved in the weekend overall somehow. I think JD is going to lose on SmackDown. He's not going to win the Battle Royal. And then I think Damian Priest and Finn lose their titles. And I think the only two members of Judgment Day that win are Rhea and Dom. They're the only ones going to pick up a win. So whenever JD doesn't get the win, I think that Priest is going to do something to JD McDonough that weekend that's going to push the Judgment Day over the edge and be like, all right, we got to get rid of this guy. And I think that they're all going to run down if he cashes in. And whenever he tells the ref to like, okay, cash in, or maybe he gives the briefcase to Dom to go cash in, and then Dom just knocks the ref out. And they all just kind of like turn and give him a dirty look. And he's like, what are y'all doing? And then Drew can Claymore kick him. Or maybe they wait till the match starts. I don't really know how they do it, but you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
The other layer to this.
I like that theory. I'm for it.
The other layer, the other rumor is, what if Cody wins and he cashes in on Cody? Like, talk about a guy who's like finally finished his story, right? He won his title. The confetti's dropping. He can finally give the championship to his mom. And what other way to replicate Dusty Rhodes, right? Because Dusty won the title, technically. They reversed it and took the title out of his hands. So what better way to replicate your dad's story than to actually win the title and then lose it immediately after? Like,
no,
dude, the amount of nuclear, it would be Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 31 all over again.
No,
like,
honestly, it'd be nuts because especially if you tie that into The Rock, if The Rock goes off on Roman, and then that happens to Cody, like what, like a cliffhanger, awful, and like you're not walking out there feeling good about any of it. Then, you know,
dude, WrestleMania 31, right? It was Roman and Brock. It was their first time facing WrestleMania because I think they faced 3 or 4 times now at Mania, but it was their first time. And nobody really wanted the match, to be honest. Like, Roman won. So it's actually kind of poetic. Roman won the Royal Rumble that year in 2015 in Philadelphia, actually, which is where WrestleMania is this weekend. So that was in Philadelphia, and they booed him out of the building. Booed him out of the building. They hated it. They even got it to the point where they got The Rock to go out there. This was back when Rock was still just doing Hollywood. He didn't make appearances anymore. He went out there and raised Roman's hand, and they booed louder. They did not care. They hated this guy. And so now, fast forward, what is it? 9 years, right? 9 years. You're back in Philly, and you're defending your championship as one of the longest reigning champions of all time. And it's just really poetic. It's really cool. But at the end of WrestleMania 31, nobody wanted Roman and Brock. And then Seth comes in the middle of the match for the first time ever, makes it a triple threat, gets the win, and runs off with the title. And that's why they called it the heist of the century. It was probably the greatest cash-in ever. And I just wouldn't be surprised if, with the way they've been pushing Judgment Day and with how high they see Damian Priest, I just wouldn't be surprised if they do end up, like, especially if at the beginning of night one, right? What if he goes to cash in and then they stop the cash in and they still turn on him? And then at the end of the night, he's like, you know what? I'm still going to be champion. And then he cashes in on Cody anyways without their help. And then he got the one up on them. So now the former leader of the Judgment Day and the new leader of the Judgment Day are both the champions. And then you can send Damian Priest over to SmackDown where he can run with the Universal title, get away from Judgment Day, and separate them completely. I'm not saying that's what should happen, but that's just the thought process going through my brain. I think Cody wins it, and if it goes according to plan, he should keep the title, and he should bring it to SummerSlam. And I think that who he faces at SummerSlam, I'm not really sure yet, but I think he should win it.
All right. Let's do a little trivia to end the show here. All right. Cool. These are just random final trivia questions I found. So some of these may be easy, some of them maybe not. We'll see. So this is WrestleMania 40. What year was the first WrestleMania?
The first one, 1983?
85.
85, dang. Yeah. Close.
All right. What year did the WWE change its name from the WWF to the WWE?
I think that was early 2000s. Like 2003?
2002. Close. Very close.
See, I'm right there. I'm right there.
What was the name of the faction led by Ric Flair?
The Four Horsemen.
Okay, well, see, okay, but that was an old one. So, there's a 50-50. Who holds the record for the most Royal Rumble eliminations in a single match?
Ooh, see, for a while it was Kane. And then Roman Reigns beat it. Oh, but I think somebody beat Roman Reigns's. Dang, this is going to kill me. Dang. It's somebody still wrestling, right?
Yeah, I think so.
My brain is saying Braun Strowman, but I don't think it's Braun Strowman.
It's Braun Strowman, yeah.
Okay, cool, okay.
Or at least according to this quiz,
I think that is. How many did he have? Like 14 or 15?
It doesn't have a number. It just
okay. Because Kane held the record for a while, I think, with 12 in a match.
All right. Well, which is the WrestleMania? Which is the only WrestleMania that took place on a Monday?
Ooh. Was that one hearts again? Was that one for was that one of the WrestleMania 2 nights?
Yeah, that's WrestleMania 2. Yep.
Yeah, because that was the one where it was spread out.
Okay, who was the first AEW World Champion?
Chris Jericho.
Yes. Who was the first NXT champion?
Ooh. Seth Rollins.
Yep, there you go. Look, you did pretty good. That's about all the trivia I've got for you. So, I think you pretty much knocked out.
Look, you're a professor, so I need bonus points for this one. If I tell you who he beat for the NXT Championship, he beat Jinder Mahal. He beat Jinder Mahal for the NXT Championship.
There we go. There we go. All right, Casey, tell them where they can find us
Dude, you can find us a lot of places. You can find us at thetailgatekings.com. You can find us on Instagram at thetailgatekings101, I think is what our name is. You can find us on TikTok. I think it's just the Tailgate Kings.
Yeah, we got TK Rips now too on TikTok.
Yeah,
so
TK Rips on TikTok and on YouTube. Also go check out our Spotify because that's where all our podcasts are going to be. Go check out BBE20 on Twitch. You can go follow me on Instagram too. I think it's just BBE20 _. But yeah, because we're going to be tackling this thing head on. So go follow us on everything. And go follow Couv, COUV Sports Media on Instagram too. Couv has been cooking up some absolute fire. And this next year is the year of the kingdom. We are going to tear some stuff up.
Indeed.
Indubitably. All right, Di. So are you going to write your love letter to Rhea Ripley after she wins on Saturday?
She's coming over. She's flying from Philadelphia over here to watch Night 2 with me. So,
I see. Yeah, what a lucky guy. What a lucky guy.
Stuff, so she's not going to be there for that dirty Dom drama. She ain't worried about that.
You're gonna clean the couch real nice so she can sit next to you?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
We're going to look at all my comics.
You got look at all your. Hey, she's a little nerdy, so
yeah,
you guys are gonna have some steak and a Coca-Cola. All that fun stuff.
Watch Night 2, and like I said, I'm sure she'll dig some of those graded books. So.
And then you guys can go paint, and you can serenade her with your guitar.
Oh, Rhea, come on over.
Oh, Rhea. We got to get you a Rhea Ripley shirt, dude.
Oh, shit.
We're supposed to be keeping it PG, Di. Well, I guess if The Rock can say it, we can say it.
You got that out of me. You got that out of me.
I guess if The Rock can say it, we can say it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess for the Tailgate Kings, after an hour and a half of talking nothing but wrestling and WrestleMania, that's gonna do it for us. So we're gonna call it, and be on the lookout because whenever I start going live on Twitch again, I'm gonna try to do these live reactions. Monday, Tuesday, Friday is the goal. So we'll see how it happens. Monday night Raw, Tuesday night NXT, and Friday night SmackDown, and then. Of course, when there's a PLE, we'll do stuff for a PLE.
Right,
we might do PLE watch along in the studio. That might be something that we start doing.
And hit the comments up. Let us know who you think was going to win, or if we're total idiots about our picks or whatever. Or if you've got
They're going to say that about me. They're going to say that about me.
Just I want to know if anybody else has a crush on Rhea Ripley out there.
Everyone has a crush on Rhea Ripley.
But now they gotta tell me in the comments. I want to hear.
They do. Tell us how much you love Rhea Ripley in the comments. Just say Rhea Ripley in the comments. That's all you gotta say.
All you gotta say. Just like, subscribe, and say Rhea Ripley, and we're good.
Exactly that. All right, guy. We're out of here.
All right.